Hello and welcome to The Signal, WorkplaceNL's health and safety podcast. WorkplaceNL is the Workers' Compensation Board in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. The focus is to promote safe and healthy workplaces, provide return-to-work programs, and offer compensation to injured workers and their dependents. This series of podcasts will provide you with the latest information on how workplaces can protect the health and safety of workers. Please enjoy the show.
True leadership on the front line begins with being a strong advocate for workers' health and safety and an understanding of the internal responsibility system. Kiel Willams, Newfoundland Power, was awarded WorkplaceNL's 2024 Safety Leadership Worker Award for being a trusted voice and leader in occupational health and safety. From identifying potential hazards to mentoring new employees, Kiel represents the meaning of leading with action. Kiel is joined today with Miranda, Manager, Safety of Newfoundland Power. And I am DeeAnne Feltham-Scott, Occupational Health and Safety Educational Consultant at WorkplaceNL. Today, we will explore the challenges of creating a safety-first culture in the field and how peer-driven initiatives can make a lasting impact on worker health and safety. No matter where you work, this episode shows you how safety leadership begins with each of us. Good day, Kiel and Miranda. Thank you for joining me today to tell us your story of Kiel being nominated by your employer and then receiving the 2024 Safety Leadership Worker Award. Miranda, let's start with you. Why did you think Kiel was deserving of this nomination for the award?
Great question, DeeAnne. So first of all, I think it's really important just to give an oversight of how important safety is at Newfoundland Power. There's nothing more important than the safety of our employees, our contractors, and the customers that we serve. Safety is not just a word at Newfoundland Power. It's a way of life. Our employees put safety first each and every day. So Kiel is very deserving of this award because he's an advocate for workplace safety. His passion and dedication to improving safety in the utility industry has been ongoing for over 15 years and goes beyond his current work responsibilities as a seasoned power line technician for Newfoundland Power. Kiel, he genuinely cares not only for his personal safety, but he also looks out for the safety of his coworkers, contractors, and the public daily. He is an integral part of developing safety initiatives with the support of management and unionized employees, but also includes external stakeholders such as contractors, WorkplaceNL, and ServiceNL OHS Division, just to name a few. He has been and continues to be a driving force for continuously improving safety at Newfoundland Power. In fact, he was recently promoted to a Safety and Work Methods Advisor role and is a valued member of the safety team at Newfoundland Power.
Kiel, what did you think of being nominated by your employer and then receiving the award?
First of all, DeeAnne, thanks for having me on your podcast. I am grateful and honored to be recognized for this award. As power line technicians and Newfoundland Power employees, we pride ourselves in our commitment to safety and the results we achieve. And this recognition goes beyond me. I feel like it shines a spotlight on the power line technician trade and on other electrical workers. When you consider the electricity and working at heights elements, which are just a couple of the main hazards we deal with to deliver our product, safety is not an option. Safety is embedded into everything we do, and I've been fortunate to have great mentors and colleagues along the way who have motivated me to operate at a high standard of safety. And I feel like this award is more than just about me. It reflects the power line technician trade and the direction we are heading. We are really doing incredible work, and we are mitigating high levels of risk to safely deliver electricity to our customers.
How did you become interested in occupational health and safety to begin with?
So I started my career as a power line technician, and I worked in that capacity for 15 years, split between electrical utility in Ontario and Newfoundland Power. I had great mentors and instructors coming up through the trade, and particularly through my apprenticeship program in Ontario that made some lasting impressions on me. And safety was heavily enforced. And although severe workplace accidents were never associated with the projects I worked on, they were always present in the industry around me. Like I could almost like smell them. Like they felt really close to me, even though they weren't occurring on my job. So a couple of examples: an individual I had the opportunity to work with on a college work term lost some of his fingers from electrical contact only a few months after my work term was complete. During my level 3 apprenticeship schooling at the Kleinberg facility, it's Hydro One's training school in Ontario, I went and took a picture. There's a picture of me I have posted on social media where I'm posed in front of a helicopter. And it's a cool picture, right? Like I thought it was the coolest thing that this helicopter was there. They did a showcase of some different power line technicians doing some tower work. And unfortunately, only a few years later, that helicopter was involved in a deadly workplace accident. And it involved the deaths of 4 power line technicians on that job. And then one that personally happened to me, I was involved in a near miss early in my career where a supervisor misdirected another crew to energize a sectional line I was working on. And these events are just a few examples of many that have gone on in the industry, but they were all completely preventable. So as more of these events continued to happen around me, my line of thinking evolved from how do I stop the next incident to happening to me, right? And it changed to how do I stop the next event from occurring, period. So I started to become involved in safety initiatives. I signed up to attend safety conferences. I joined my former employer's standard operating procedure committee, so SOP committee. And the purpose of the SOP committee is to help write industry-leading work methods and proceduralize them. And I did this shortly after my apprenticeship. And usually this is a task best left for senior leaders in the trade, people 10, 20, 30 years experience. Anyone more experienced than me is typically on the SOP committee. But there's literally no one else that wanted to do it. Safety champions are hard to come by, and there is a belief in some tradespeople that there's always someone more senior than you that should be appointed by the employer to be a leader, or if you put in enough time, then it's your responsibility that you inherit to go and take care of this. And I decided just to go and take action. I saw that no one had any interest to go and fill in these roles. And if I waited around, either someone wouldn't do it or someone would be designated to go do it that didn't want to go and do it. So I find that leadership, and particularly safety leadership, is a mindset and attitude. And I decided to go and take action.
Right. Yeah. And, you bring up a really good point. Safety leadership is a mindset and it's an attitude. And it's something that we can all make a part of our daily work lives. Safety leadership is not just confined to managers. We can all be leaders in health and safety. Right? Because what we do in the workplace may negatively affect somebody else. So looking out for your buddies requires that we all be safety leaders. So Miranda, what qualities does Kiel have that make him a safety leader?
Kiel is a phenomenal safety leader. And some of the qualities that come to mind when I think about Kiel are as follows. First of all, he leads by example. He embodies the no one gets hurt concept and leaving it better than you found it philosophy. These qualities enhance the motivation and the performance of all stakeholders he works with on a daily basis. He has a desirable ability to connect with these individuals and inspire them to take responsibility for safety in the workplace. Kiel also has a passion to continuously learn and improve processes within our company. He conducts research on a variety of safety topics to ensure we consider best practices in our safety processes. He works with employees to make sure they are competent, they're applying key training principles in the field. So, for example, he's our traffic control lead, and he ensures through training and work observations and so forth that traffic control requirements for all crew members, including contractors, are known and practiced in the field. He also takes the initiative to step up and volunteer for many committees and various initiatives that exist within Newfoundland Power. So I know he sets up different training events during our Safety and Health Week as one example. He's very dependable. He has a positive and very proactive attitude towards safety. And as previously stated, he embodies Newfoundland Power's the no one gets hurt concept and leaving it better than you found it philosophy. His charismatic nature, transformational leadership style both help to continuously improve the mature culture that exists at Newfoundland Power. Mm-hmm. Kyle also continuously works to elevate the commitment to safety for his peers and contractors.
Yeah. I love that transformational leadership, right? Transformational leadership really comes down to worker consultations. Workers are the experts. They know the job that they're doing, going to them, engaging them, empowering them to take the lead on working in a healthy and safe manner. So I really appreciate that concept of transformational leadership. I hope that one day somebody calls me a transformational leader. So Kyle, that's a huge compliment in my mind, for sure. So Kyle, how have you used these qualities to lead safety initiatives in your workplace?
So, as I previously stated, it was at my former employer where I started becoming interested in safety, but then I ended up starting at Newfoundland Power around almost 8 years ago now. And, one of the things that I found is the abundance of opportunities to kind of step up in different initiatives. It's all about taking action. You see that opportunity, you can have an impact, and I decided to go and run with it. So I decided to go and volunteer on the Work Methods Advisory Committee. The purpose of this is to develop and document operational procedures to be used for performing work on the company's distribution and transmission lines. Very similar to the SOP committee. That was very familiar to me. I enjoyed the process of it before, so I wanted to be included in an initiative like that again with Newfoundland Power. We also, evaluated tools and equipment, construction standards, field tested FAR clothing. So it felt very meaningful. It was good work, and again, you're engaging the workforce. I was also on a committee with other safety champions, like-minded people, some really good subject matter experts. It was a pleasure, and it helped enhance my understanding of the trade and, inspire myself to become a better safety leader and role model. I also approached management to be a traffic control trainer, something I never thought I would ever do. The high hazard work, such as rubber glove work, high voltage work, that typically was the stuff I was, I would gravitate towards. And in the back of my mind, I don't know if I want to go and facilitate traffic control, but I saw the need, I saw the opportunity there, and I said, you know what? I could actually deliver this training. So I approached management on that. Part of the high voltage rubber glove training that we do is you're also a bit of a mentor to the workforce of the present and tomorrow, our apprentices that come through. They have to go through a 3-day high voltage rubber glove training and aerial device. And this is the first step in the journey to them actually wearing the rubber gloves and working on high voltage lines. So it's very important training, and the message has to be delivered appropriately. And this is your early chance to kind of influence workplace culture, to kind of make that impact, to make them care about the little details and little things. So I really like that deliverable, and I do continue to be one of the facilitators for that training, even in my new role. And then as well, I was also involved on the company's Shift Innovation team, and what this is you bring working groups together to try and solve a problem. So you pick a problem, and then you have the year to kind of brainstorm a solution, and then you go and present it to senior leadership at the end of kind of like a Shark Tank pitch, where you'd be like, this is our idea we've been working on. And it's really cool to hear, it's an example of entrepreneurship, where you kind of, again, lead on your own subject matter experts, your own employees, to go and solve real problems that the company encounters.
And such a great example, again, of worker consultation, working with the experts, and transformational leadership. Hats off. So, Miranda, you describe Kyle as a safety champion who inspires other line staff to practice and advocate for for safety. Can you tell us how he demonstrates this commitment?
I mean, when you think of Kyle, so many things come to mind, DeeAnne. First of all, he proactively identifies, evaluates, and controls all the hazards that may impact people or the equipment, materials, and even the environment that we work within. He also contributes feedback on a continual basis for improving the occupational health and safety program for Newfoundland Power. Kyle lives safety every day in all that he does, whether it is through following safety practices while conducting his work as a power line technician and now as a safety and work methods advisor. He's also shows, strong commitment to safety when he conducts safety training for line operations employees or supporting key safety messages during Safety and Health Week, safety meetings, and other safety-based initiatives. Kyle lives with the philosophy of doing the right thing when no one else is watching and leaving things in better shape than how you found it. He expresses workplace concerns and advocates for himself, but also for coworkers. He did this continuously as a frontline employee, as a temporary lead hand, and now as a safety professional. Mm-hmm. He was recently evaluated and received 100% on his tailboard grading. So tailboard is just another word for a hazard assessment at Newfoundland Power. And what this shows is his commitment to safety, and it demonstrates how much he values ensuring due diligence is conducted in the course of his work. He also takes safety very seriously, and he's accountable for his actions in his day-to-day work. And what also comes to mind, DeeAnne, is he also ensures that near-miss reporting is completed to assist the safety department in event analysis and learning, which also contributes to trend analysis as a component of injury and illness prevention.
Awesome. So, Kyle, you were described by Miranda and through your nomination as a key contributor in elevating the safety culture of Newfoundland Power. So what has made you successful in leading the way for others?
Great question, DeeAnne. One of the things mindsets I always adopt when it comes to safety is I try to be deliberate and consistent with my approach every single day. And a big thing is that I practice what I preach during course facilitation. It is no good to go and lead a traffic control training initiative, but then on my next emergency trouble call, I decide to not put out any signs or skip a traffic layout. So it's important to lead by example. And everyone has a part to play in safety. Safety doesn't just belong to myself or the safety people of the organization or just the supervisors. It belongs to everyone. So promoting and engaging with other employees is very important. Like I previously stated, targeting subject matter experts to advocate for safety is crucial. They really are your gatekeepers, and they must become your early adopters of new safety messaging for the message to go and land effectively with the rest of the workplace. Mm-hmm. I try to have a positive influence on workplace culture, and part of it is rejecting its negative aspects. Any of the myths or made up work methods that are kind of been passed down and aren't really current. You do have to go and reject those. And workplace culture is important because it influences what happens on the job site after your supervisor leaves. That's your workplace culture. Sure, anyone your safety people, your senior leadership's there can go and figure out the rules pretty quick and, paint a pretty good picture. But what happens when those taillights are heading up the road? What happens when you're in a remote location where no one's watching? That's your workplace culture. Do the employees only put on their PPE when the safety person's coming for a visit? It's also important to follow safety rules and procedures when it's convenient to abandon them. There'll be situations where it's just geez, it's almost 4:00 here, right? Part of being a safety leader is to continue to do the right things consistently, even though it's, tempting to want to not follow them. And as I alluded before, safety leadership is something that you need to take ownership of. Many people feel like their employer should approach them to step up in a leadership role. And I decided to start early and take action. If you wait around to receive reassurance from your peers, opportunities will pass you. In all realness, every day you have the ability to influence safety culture. And I have 2 sons at home, and if they're like me, they'll probably pursue a trade. I would hope that when they start their careers, they will have great mentors and coworkers to model themselves after. I'd hope they come into a great workplace culture and they go and say, like, to my sons, if they start out, hey, put your safety glasses on, right? And there's more work to do. At the end of the day, it's all about the human element. One of the things since I started my new safety role, when I go and look at the majority of workplace accidents in the utility industry, the root cause isn't a lack of rules or procedures. The tools and PPE and equipment are better than ever. What I see are events attributed to human work factors, the personal factors, the behavioral side of safety. What influences someone not to wear their PPE or cut a corner on the job or not wear fall protection despite program standards that are consistently reinforced? I think that's the area in safety that we do need to focus on, because, you know, we at this point we've regurgitated like the safety messaging, and like you know, all employers are doing it. They're harping on their safety messaging, doubling and tripling down. But I think we're at a point where you have to ask the why. Why did they decide to go and cut that corner? Everyone knows you got to wear fall protection when working at heights, but how many accidents do we see in the run of a year where someone decided not to go and wear their fall protection? Right. How many contractors does it take to encroach on power lines and have an electrical contact, to go and influence someone to make sure you call the electrical utilities and get them to go and advise you on what you should do. I think this area of safety presents the greatest opportunity to mitigate workplace accidents.
Well, thank you so much to both of you for joining me here today to share some of your experiences in occupational health and safety. I can certainly see why you were deserving of the nomination and then, of course, received the award. Thank you so much.
Thank you, DeeAnne.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Transcripts are available to use in your workplace to increase workers' knowledge in various occupational health and safety topics. Visit WorkplaceNL.ca for more information on the services we provide to workplaces. Feel free to share the signal on social media to improve workplace health and safety everywhere. Thank you, and have a safe and healthy day.